What's going on, YouTube? It is your boy OMega500 here, and today, but first, so I don't know if you remember the video I made earlier, but I made a video where I wanted you guys to ask me questions about anything particular, like my life, YouTube, history, I don't know, anything at all. So I didn't really get much comments, so I'm just going to do a top 5 facts about me, OMega500. So I thought that would be a great video for you, maybe for even new fans who just see this video and be like, hey, this dude's probably a good content creator, which I like to believe so myself, because I have a lot of people watching me. I mean, not at a big extent as many YouTubers, but yeah, my videos do quite well on everything. So without further ado, let's get into my top 5 facts that you didn't know about OMega500. Number 5, and whatever the number's pointing. I'm trying to do some editing on here, but number 5. So if y'all watch my stop motion, y'all probably wondering, I hope y'all don't wonder, who is this Dalton Atkinson person in Star Wars: The Atkinson Chronicles? Well, if you guessed it was me, then you are correct. That is my real name. My real name is Dalton Atkinson, and basically, the show's about me in Star Wars, if you don't know. So now that you know my name, let's go even more deeper into who I really am. So that's my name. My name is Dalton, but y'all can call me Omega, since most people y'all do, or Dizzle D, which is my rapper name. So currently I am 22 years old. I was born on March 21st, 2000, and I grew up here in my home state and lived here my whole life in North Carolina in the United States. And I'm not in a big area or nothing. I'm not like in a city like Charlotte or Raleigh or any of that stuff. But I'm not gonna go too detailed because I don't want to give real too much personal information. But yeah, that's where I live. So yeah. Number 4 is that, so y'all probably want to know how long I've been doing stop motion for. So here's another fact. I've been doing stop motion since I was 6 years old. So when I started doing, so how I got into it is that I watched people probably want to know who inspired you to do stop motion, and anyone inspire you. No one really inspired me. I watched a couple channels. So back when YouTube wasn't as big as it is now, because I grew up in the 2000s. YouTube came out when I was 5 years old. So I didn't go on the platform until maybe I was, it could be 5 or 6 maybe, because it's not, this was when my parents were still together. So my parents, they got divorced when I was 9. I'm not gonna speak on what happened, but when they were still married, so this is when they were still married, I was watching stop motion videos on YouTube on a computer. We didn't have smartphones yet or tablets yet, so we had a computer, and the routers weren't as wireless as everything is now. So I was on the computer on YouTube just looking at YouTubers. So I don't know, these are some YouTubers I recommend you should watch for childhoods. I mean, nostalgic stop motions, even current ones. So I watched now here's a quick reminder, I barely watch stop motion as it is now. If I do, then it's probably going to be somebody I watch for a while, and I'll probably react to it. So stop motions YouTubers I grew up with was Forest Fire 101, Forest Fire 101, Pizza Movies. Yeah, I mean, that was Forest Fire 101. He did these Batman, Star Wars, all these stop motions you can think of, and Pizza Guy did all these Clone Wars stop motions. They're really good. Let me see another one. I watched some Lego SpongeBob stop motions on YouTube. I don't know any channels, but I did watch them. So, and I watched some Star Wars SpongeBob crossovers. So those were really good. Those were good. Another one I watched was where this dude goes to McDonald's and he runs over some civilian, and he basically gave him his Happy Meal just to make him feel better. That's literally what I watched. I know this sounds cringy, but like, this is what we had back then. We didn't have like I don't think there was reaction videos back then, or you know, much gaming stuff. I don't like. There were just it was a simpler time, people. Like YouTube wasn't as big as it is now, because I know some of y'all probably like under 18, but if you are over 18 and you were born in the 2000s, or you're way over 18, you know what I'm talking about. So back to the stop motion thing. I'm getting out of topic. So I've been doing stop motion since I was 6 years old, so no one really inspired me. I just watched them, and I just got into it. My dad helped me figure out what to do. Back in the day, before I used an iPad, I used a Sony camcorder, which you can probably still get those, but not many people use them no more. They had tapes in them, and I would use those to record my stop motions, I didn't write no script or nothing, because I was a kid. I didn't care about that shit. I just made stop motion whatever came from here and here, you know? So it all started with SpongeBob, which I still got a few figures, but I don't have the sets now because they were all destroyed when I got older. So, you know, then I went to Star Wars, which is I'm doing now, and I did do a crossover between those two, like myself. So those were the cringy days, man. Like, I watched some of these tapes and I cringed a lot on my voice was super high pitched. It's not as deep as it is now. So I've been doing Star Wars stop motions for a long time, and what got me into Lego Star Wars, like how I made this stop motion before this was on YouTube. You know, I did this on the camcorder, even in the 2010s, because like at the time I didn't feel comfortable using a stop motion app, because I feel like that would be taking too much time. But look here, now I'm just using it a lot now, and they're getting a ton of views, because I decided, well, I might as well use better technology and stuff, which these apps do. And so that's basically it. That's my history of Lego stop motion, from SpongeBob, this crossover between Star Wars and SpongeBob, and now Star Wars. And so now here's some original names I had when it featured me. So the Star Wars shows I had that had me in it. So the first one I made was called, if y'all were here in the 2010s, early 2010s, like 2012 and 13, I did this show called Lego Star Wars, what was it? Dalton's Dream, The Clone Wars. So that's basically the Atkinson Chronicles. It's just, it was a weird name for the show at the time. And then after that show was done, which I did put some of it on YouTube, just not as much. But I mostly filmed at home. I didn't really upload them to YouTube. Like, I rarely, if I did YouTube, I'll go into that in a second. Now, that's for another fact. But then after that, I did a show called Star Wars, Star Wars, The Clone Rebellion. So that was about me. For some reason, I'm still the same age, 16, when, you know, because the character's 16. Because, like the character in the Atkinson Chronicles is 16, where I'm supposed to be 16 in the show. So, And so I made that, and that turned out that was like my first adult stop motion show where there was cussing and all that bullshit in it. So I was going to finish the series, but I pulled the plug because I realized this show didn't make sense. Why am I still 16? And the Atkinson Chronicles, the Clone Rebellion, it didn't make sense. So I started doing the Atkinson Chronicles, and this was the last time I did Sony camcorder stuff. So when I did that, I introduced this new character. Everything was super new. There was no SpongeBob. There was no Lego movie. There was no Batman, because there was Lego Batman in my Star Wars stuff. So basically, a lot of crazy crossovers. So this was all going to be completely new. All this was going to make sense to canon because I've seen a bunch of Star Wars. I've seen Clone Wars, Rebels, and those were the shows at the time. Rebels was still airing on Disney XD at the time. I was watching that when I was a teenager. I was the same age as Ezra Bridger was when that show came out. 2014. So, after that, man, I just started. That's how Captain Gerald became. Before Captain, I don't know if y'all saw my TikTok, but I did a video explaining Captain Gerald's character. So Captain Gerald was originally called the Captain because I didn't give him a name at the time. I couldn't think of nothing. And I just thought of Captain Gerald. And the person who said the name first was Barris Offee. It was an episode where she escapes the Republic prison by the help of either Dooku or Darth Marlin. I don't remember. Those were a long time ago. But, those were the days. And then after I came back from Disney World in 2019, I decided this is when I just returned to YouTube. I did a bunch of reactions, every day. So if y'all were here in the beginning, y'all would know what I'm talking about. So after that, I just announced I would bring my stop motion back on here. And it was going to be completely new. Some of the stories would be the same as I told in the old series that I did in my home movies. So, and that's how we're here. And yeah. Fact number three. So, if y'all, I do have a YouTuber that I'm inspired by. His name is BlasphemousHD. If you don't know who he is, which, he don't really get as much views as he used to because of the whole drama that happened with his friends and his ex-girlfriend. But I still watch him to this day because he's still funny and he still makes me laugh and he still entertains me. He's not like any other reaction YouTuber. I like reactions, but most of the reactions I watch is him because he makes them unique. He tells stories. He makes jokes, like adult humor, sex humor, which is what I like because, I like that stuff. And, that's what got me into reaction videos, was him watching them. And I really enjoyed them. That I actually got to talk to one of his old friends that, he's not friends with no more, named Dr. J and the Women. And I did friend him on PlayStation. He did accept my friend request. And we played Warzone and then multiplayer Modern Warfare. And he live streamed the whole thing. That, the stream was gone on his Twitch. And then he uploaded, bits of it on his YouTube channel. And that was his last video that he uploaded. Was Modern Warfare Shenanigans Part 1. That was his last video he ever posted, and I was in the video. So, you can barely hear me in some of it, but I was in it. He didn't shout me out or nothing, but I told him about, him inspired me to do my own reactions. He said he would check it out, but I don't think he ever did. And I did try, playing Black Ops Cold War with him because he finally got back on. It's been a while since he came back on the PlayStation Network. And I messaged him. He didn't respond. So I just let him do what he, I guess because, it's like, if you're famous, then they're not going to talk to you every day because they have a bunch of fans and friends that they talk to. So I get it. you know, but it was I had a good time with him. You know, he was super funny. He was actually a chill person in general. I wasn't going to think, because not many YouTubers, like, in the public eye aren't that nice, but he was cool. I liked him. So, that's what got me into reaction videos. Number 3, which is probably what you all want to know about this channel. So, this channel, when was this channel created, and what was my original content? So, this channel was created on February 4th, I believe, or 14th, I'm not sure. It started with the 4 on it. 2012. I was 12 years old when I first created this YouTube channel. Before I was called OMega500, I was called Mega Dalton 321. Cringiest name, as expected, because I was 12. And my first video I ever did was doing a review on the interactive R2-D2 toy by Hasbro, and that video got 100-something views, but I don't think it got any comments or nothing. Well, I don't know how much it did. I don't know how well it did when I first made the video. It just didn't do that well, and I made a bunch of cringy videos on I mean, some of the cringy videos were actually good that I wish I kept on here. In fact, now that I think about it, I should have just kept them on here and then just disabled the comments like some people do when they become big and they see the cringy videos and like, disable comments. Because I feel like that would have been nostalgic for some people. And I'm really apologize for those people that really did like those videos, but that was before I had 200-something subs. I didn't really have that many subs back then. But, you know, after that, I did do some stop motion on here. I did Lego's Dalton's Dream of Clone Wars, which I mentioned earlier. I was going to do a part 1 and part 2 series of Stopping Order 66. I was in it, but that did got plenty of views. But it was received negativity, and I didn't understand why until I got older and then watched the video myself. Basically, there was too many. The screen was too pixely. It was too blurry. No one could really see what was going on. So not many people liked that video. It got a ton of dislikes. But hey, you know, that was my first try doing stop motion on YouTube. I never done it before, so it was hard. I mean, I didn't know what to do. It was hard, which, you know. Anyways, and then I had some Clone Wars Adventures videos. That was a game developed by Sony. It came out in 2010, and then it ended in 2014. So it lasted for 4 years, I believe. And it was a great game. I really enjoyed it. I met some good people in there, good and bad. And yeah, so that's basically it. That was my old, and then when I got to be 15 and 16, those were the final days I was doing Battlefront 1 streams mostly, Racer Revenge, Bounty Hunter. I was doing mostly Star Wars games. I didn't really play much of other games. I wasn't really a gamer at the time. I just got a PS4 because I wanted to play Bounty Hunter and I played Battlefront 1 just because I wanted to, many people were playing it, so that I found friends on, and I just got into it and played, and then I started to like the game a little bit better. Now here's the thing, I don't like the game, but I did like the DLCs they had, and, you know, that, I got a bunch of hate comments from my streams, and it's also one of the reasons why I don't comment on social media, because when I did that when I was younger, I would get like a ton of hate comments on those replies. But so I quit YouTube when I was 16, I think, or so, and, you know, I met a friend online on my PlayStation, and he basically motivated me to come back on YouTube, and that's how I'm back now. So, and the last fact number 1, is that I'm going to be talking about, you know, I guess I'll talk about my shows in general and the content I do. So, Okay, so this is another. I'm just gonna talk about the Captain Gerald show, what it was originally gonna be. So before, I was gonna do an origin movie or even a trilogy on how I got the Star Wars. So the movie I made back in the day, in 2018, was called Star Wars: The ET Unleashed. It was a movie that I made that this is basically my origin story, which I'm not going to go in detail because that's going to be in the Captain Gerald show. You'll see me as in the character in the end of the show in season 2. Because y'all know it's only going to have 2 seasons. It's going to be a really short show, and as like Atkinson Chronicles, it's going to have 10 episodes. So, when I made this movie, it was still in the camcorder, which if you have not seen previews of clips I've had on YouTube, I've uploaded them, the trailer that I made on my phone, and footage I took from the camcorder. So you can check those out, so you can see most of what I made. So basically, it explained how I got to Star Wars, and Gerald meeting me meeting Ahsoka, and how I got her as a girlfriend in that show. And I thought that was a great movie. I took multiple attempts to make a good story, and the last one I did turned out really well for me. So why I created the Captain Gerald show is because I feel like now that the Atkinson Chronicles is getting a ton of views on here, I thought I might as well give a backstory on Gerald, because I feel like in my opinion, people should know, which is y'all, that how he became an ARC trooper. What did he do before he met me and everything? How did he meet me? Which I'll be in the show. How he gets a girlfriend, because I was originally going to write him a girlfriend in the Atkinson Chronicles, but then I erased it and saved it for this show. And when I made this, that's how I came with this show. It's like, I'm going to give him a girlfriend in this show, and Jedi General. So you'll see him in the next episode of Atkinson Chronicles. The Captain Gerald show. So that's kind of why I created him, this show. And so far, I feel like you guys are really liking it, and that's really good. So, anyways, that's my top 5 facts about me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell out that bitch, and share it with your homies if you want to. And I'm signing out. Peace.